Welcome back, Joe Brunsman, insurance broker to the stars. And today we're going to be talking about the Florida water supply attack and what I think is the real lesson that everybody is missing here moving forward. So what happened? Down in Oldsmar, Florida, it looks like the water treatment plant actually got attacked by a hacker somewhere. Now, this hacker allegedly changed the levels of sodium hydroxide, that would be lye, from 100 parts per million to 11,000 parts per million. Now, I am not a chemist by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, I did terrible in chemistry at the Naval Academy. But suffice to say, from the reports out there and people opining on this, that is a potentially dangerous level of lye in the water supply. And if you need some nightmare fuel, you can go ahead and look up images of lye ingestion and what that does to the mucous membranes inside of your mouth and in your esophagus, and it is horrendous. Now, I think we got lucky here because the operator of the power plant actually saw his mouse moving on his screen without his input. And once the hacker left, he went back and changed all of the settings that were inside of his system. So essentially reverting the amount of sodium hydroxide being put into the system back to the appropriate level. Now, they do say that there are some additional measures out there that would have ultimately prevented that dangerous level of sodium hydroxide actually reaching its way to consumers or the public at large. They didn't actually specify, I think for obvious reasons, what those additional measures were, but suffice to say, we'd have to really consider, okay, were those purely mechanical methods? Were those electromechanical methods? If so, could a highly sophisticated attacker actually get into those systems as well? That would be a very interesting question to ask. Now, one of the lessons here is this is not the first time this has happened. So back in 2016, a Verizon report actually talked about another U.S. water facility that had been attacked. Likewise, in 2020, there were multiple unsuccessful attacks against Israeli water supplies. So this is becoming more common, unfortunately. Now, the big lesson here is I think it's only going to get worse, and we're only going to see more reports like this. Why? Well, just in Florida, they're facing a $2.1 billion budget shortfall. So for them to go and invest a ton of money into cybersecurity controls and doing risk analyses on and on for every potential water supply, not to mention electrical supply and on, all the services that these cities and states are offering, I just don't see that being a viable solution. Likewise, you'll see states like California or Texas that are facing humongous budget deficits moving forward. So I don't know how much money the states can actually throw at this problem. So even when times were good, we still didn't see a lot of funding coming from these small municipalities or states trying to make sure that their their water supplies, what have you, were actually cyber secure. Now, can the federal government do anything with this? Well, we're in kind of a pinch right now because we're just printing money like it's going out of style. And so I think eventually, I am no Keynesian economics fan. I'm more of a Chicago School of Economics fan. So I think eventually we're just going to run out of money. And even on a practical sense, we're running out of talent to actually solve these types of problems. So if you look at a small municipality, you look at a small city somewhere, it's going to be really hard to get all the talent necessary for those small places at an affordable price to actually make sure that these types of things don't happen more frequently moving forward. So what are some lessons we can actually learn from this? One, even if you're not a municipality out there, if you're a business, you need to look at your human-machine interface. So that could be everything from people working beside machines. That could be the Internet of Things thermostat that's inside of your building. That could be, let's say, your fire suppression system inside your building if that's connected to the internet. This should be a wake-up call for all businesses out there to really take a look at that. Next, cybersecurity is not a mental exercise. These are real people that get affected by this, and real people can suffer and potentially die from a cybersecurity breach. Next, go ahead and look at your cyber insurance policy. Take a look at your first and third party bodily injury and or property damage if it's in your policy. If it's not in your policy and you need it in your policy, you probably need to pipe up now and get that process rolling moving forward. Next, just get those basic cybersecurity controls in order. That's really what's going to do the most good for the most amount of money. So that's the biggest bang for the smallest amount of cash invested. It really is those fundamental cybersecurity controls and making sure that people are appropriately trained. always you can always speak with your MSP or IT provider about any additional controls that they think may be appropriate given your circumstances. And if you're ever in doubt, speak with qualified legal counsel. All right, with that was a short one. This is my book, Damage Control, Cyber Insurance Compliance. That is where you can download for free, also available on Amazon. Hope you guys stay safe. Make sure you share the video here. Help your friends. Take it easy.